we have single leg deadlifts today. Weights are optional and encouraged, but of course, if you don't have them, balance is still great. 5 to 8 push-ups with a pause. Again, using your knees, elevating them, all the usual stuff is welcome. For our quote, workout, if you will, we have 4 sets of either. So I gave you some options here. Goblet lunges, so just kind of carrying a weight here in front, or curtsy lunges, where we kind of like bring our feet slightly behind. That's a little more butt, sort of lateral hip. So just takes the emphasis and puts it somewhere else. But you can do either of those things exactly. And if you wear a skirt, you get a bonus. Just saying. You wear a tutu. You get a bonus for the curtsy lunges. 8 per side lying clamshells. We've done these ones before. I'll go over those again. And then a 30-second tall to short plank. As a group, we'll kind of figure out how many reps you can do in 30 seconds, and we'll pick a rep. Okay, so that's a guideline. We'll establish if you're on your own, look at your own clock. No biggie. Since Meg and Joseph already started our warm-up, let's start with our good old-fashioned cat-cows. If anything comes up, you just let me know. We'll address it, okay? So start with 10 cat-cows or whatever warm-up you like to do. And I'm exhausted, and I don't know why. Sorry. Apologies for the yawning. It's not the company, I promise. Oh, we have a guest. I like that. Well done. Ari's like, I don't know what to do. How do I get up? We call that smooth brain in our house. Once you have your 10 cat-cows. Okay. Why not? Since we'll kind of go slightly out of order. I like it. Okay. So 90-90s. Feet, shoulder width apart. Drop those legs off to one side. A little gap between your heel and your front foot. I'm very much on my right leg at the moment. My left is off the ground. I'm going to switch. Let's do 10. Meg has a lovely assistant. But after 10 reps, I would do alternating bird dogs. Instead of 10 this time, we're going to do 16. I know it's like even. I would say 15, but 16 is even. We're going to add a little pause just to show control. So I'm extending, right? Hold, 1, 2, down. Alternate, extend, hold, 1, 2, down. We're going to do a total of 16. The hold, you guys can do this for a while. Just adds a bit of time under tension. And extra volume because, well, you guys are stronger now. So let's use it. Once you completed 16 reps, that's kind of 8, I guess, per side, depending on how you want to think about it. We're going to continue with our Still upper back rotation. So in our tabletop position, you're gonna rotate, look at, you can't see my hand here, but I'm looking up at my right hand, right? I'm gonna thread my right hand between this gap between my knee and my wrist. I'm gonna rotate as much as I want. Reach through. I'm gonna repeat side for 3. Okay, 3 reps. Call it threading the needle. Can't think of a better name for it. So here we are. Tabletop position. Yep. After 3 on one side, you're gonna do 3 on the other. Your rotation does not have to be big here, either up or through. Yeah, agreed. Okay. Let's go ahead and start with some inchworms. This is a good way we're going to test our hips, just shoulders, ankles, all this stuff. Okay. So we're going to start standing. You're going to walk out to your plank and then walk hands back to your feet. You can do a push-up or not, but I do want you to lay down. Okay. So touching your toes. You're walking out. Plank. Once you have that, you can drop the knees, lay down. You can warm back up if you need to. I like to stand up. You don't have to, but I want you to do 5. You have a yoga mat. I would start at the end of the yoga mat, so you're walking down the long way. Part of this does not need to be huge. You're laying down and getting up. So yes.
I feel like that's a sneaky burpee precursor, and I'm not here for the burpee.
There's no burpees today.
I'm just teasing you.
I'm a bad liar, like horrific liar. It's really not good. No burpees today. Actually, I do like the inchworm. It's like kind of a touching your toes, or maybe for some people touching their shins. It's like, hey, how does the back of my legs feel today? Apologies for the garbage trucks.
Those aren't bad. I'm just saying.
Okay, so we're gonna do one more thing before we get into our single leg deadlifts and our push-ups. That's a posterior shoulder thing. I can't think of the name of this actual exercise. And I'm gonna take off my very baggy sweatshirt because it doesn't do you any favors if you can't see anything. Okay, so essentially, and we did this a week or 2 ago. You're gonna be face down, so I'll explain to you verbally and then demonstrate. When you're laying down, I want your shoulders to kind of, just be passive here, but I still want that shoulder in line with the pec. So I don't want any of this when I'm laying down. And I'm going to just be lifting my hands up, not a huge amount. But we're doing 15 reps per direction. Meg, you're going to be very vulnerable here. You're going to be like, Ari, just like right in your face on this one. Or if you have any pets. So face down, toes together, thumbs up. I know my yoga mat's the wrong direction. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Palms down first. Lift. Right, not a lot. Right. 15 that direction. Turn the palms up. Same thing. Right. And the last one, T shape. So if you're on T's, S's, and Y's, same idea. But this time, don't over cue it. Just lift up the hands gently. Right. It should be very much post back of the shoulder and upper back. 15 reps per thing. Does not have to be huge. So think less high and think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Yeah, that's gonna be more of the physical sensation that we should be feeling. Shoulder blades moving. And it's okay if your knuckles or your palms rest on the ground between reps. And of course, just like the arm circles we do, we can always rest between directions. Nice, Meg. Try not to over cue that T shape, just a slight lift. Yeah, baby lifts. Yeah. And I know the toes together sounds kind of arbitrary, but toes together keeps your butt squeezed and slightly more active. So the low back doesn't engage when you're doing this, basically. Lovely. If you have weights for your single leg deadlifts, let's go ahead and grab them. If you're going unweighted today, great, no problem. Just hang tight.
Ray's eating breakfast, so my soundtrack is nom 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 nom.
I mean, there were soundtracks.
So I'm gonna do after strength. Nom 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 nom.
That's what I'm gonna do before riding trainer. I already had my Cheerios though, so. Okay, all right, my friends. So 4 rounds, single leg deadlifts. These can be leg lifted or not. I know I say this every time. If you're gonna add complexity or sorry, add load, I would, feel this one out. Range of motion is relative, and I want this to be very much about your front leg and the back of your front leg, basically. So ultimately, whether you're carrying the weight, the same, so opposite, so left leg's working, right hand's loaded, or vice versa, I do want a hip to go back, load this hinge position. I'm braced, not rounded. My chest is up. All right, except I have a name tag. You should be able to see my imaginary name tag. My leg can lift. I'm feeling fancy. Squeeze your butt to stand, regardless of what you're doing with your back foot. And let's have you do 8 reps per leg. You can bend that front knee if you'd like as well. Once the hip goes back and behind you. I recommend, if you know you have a wobbly leg, okay, for me that's my right, by all means, start on that leg. Sounds counterintuitive, but at the very least, you get the hard one done first. Good work. Nice job. I feel like it's universal. Most animals like yoga mats. They're squishy and comfortable. After your 8 per side, when we do 5 to 8 push-ups, we're adding our paws back in. So whether you're using your knees or elevating this, again, keep the mid to upper back, squeeze, especially at the bottom, pausing at the bottom of your push-up. So I want this to be an active hold. So not laying down necessarily, chest almost hovering off the ground if possible, even if you are on your knees. From 5 to 8, right? So 5 on the low end, 8 on the higher side. And we're going to repeat this cycle 3 more times. So these, like, going forward, you can kind of go at your own pace. I am here metaphorically, I know, not literally in person, but if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Yeah, nice job. Maxine, how do your push-ups feel today? How's shoulders doing?
Tired, so I'm just gonna do them weighted,
That's fine.
but no pain.
That's
Just
great. And feel free to take this with a grain of salt. If they're tired, maybe you do 3 sets of push-ups instead of 4, right? Whatever, like, common sense, whatever you need to do. If it's good tired, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
All I know, I was sick, so I ended up doing my long run yesterday. I did not move it, ladies and gentlemen, my coach did. I did long run hill repeats yesterday and my hamstrings are feeling it on those RDLs.
I mean, I will say, Meg, they look great. They might be like you might be feeling them, but they look solid. That fatigue is not the world's worst thing, at least for today.
Oh, it's good as long as it's fatigue and not pain, right? Okay, already. Thanks.
What if you just lay on her, does she like, okay, fine, I will move?
Evie's upstairs having coffee, so she's watching the stairs.
Just in case. Go ahead, instead, go ahead and just drop the knees first. If like, it's totally fine. So knees down and keep your butt squeezed for that push-up can kind of keep that whole, I would say, pelvis / core engaged. It's a little easier to maintain. Honestly, all joking aside, I couldn't tell that you did sprints yesterday or uphill stuff yesterday.
It's just feedback from my hamstring. It's not pain,
Yeah. No, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, sometimes that pre-fatigue is not always a bad. Good time. Yeah. Load that hip first. Even if your foot stays on the ground a little longer before that foot comes up. Everyone's lifting their foot today, but for anyone watching this later, you do not have to lift your back foot up, especially if you're just not having it today.
All right. Who's that time? Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Don't pedal. Okay.
Like, Meg, I'm just so excited to see you.
Does your butt have to be right there?
Well, is it okay, dog butt or dog breath? If you had to choose. I don't know. I'm not sure there's a better answer, but Good work. 4 times 2. I think everyone's finishing off 4. So
Okay. I lost count.
roughly. Aris is also like, I don't know. I think it's gonna be like, what did Joseph do? I don't know. You tell me.
We're all good. We're all good.
That's all right. We're doing just fine. I will say the gym I work at just got a cable machine. Very, very slim one, actually, kind of unassuming, but has been a lifesaver because I can actually do stuff. So I'm doing more of this now, but I'm actually able to push and pull with a cable. It's like not loading my hand. I was like, oh, cable machines, handy.
Yep.
I haven't used them a ton in my own personal, like, I don't know, most gyms I have had weights. I was like, use the weights. And I was like, unless you can't grip them. And I was like, oh, cable machines are quite interesting. Big fan. Still learning how to use them in a lot of ways, but I like them so far. So we have our goblet lunges or curtsy lunges. As usual, weight is optional, but highly recommended if you're able. I'm going to show you my hips and down for this one because I think we get the holding the weight on the chest. But in terms of the actual lunge, you can lunge forwards, but you cannot curtsy lunge. Well, maybe you can curtsy lunge forward. I've never seen it. I wouldn't. But if you're lunging traditionally, a forward lunge is fine. I'm going to reverse for the sake of this exercise. And then the curtsy is going to be where the feet comes back. So regular lunge, stepping back, right, or forward. Curtsy is a back and across at the very least in line with. So I know it's hard to see, I have dark on dark here, but my knee is in line with my ankle, okay? You do not have to touch the ground with your back knee, okay? You can. If you're holding your weight, you're holding your weight. It's a little more lateral hip and glute, okay? So that's kind of the primary difference. The degree you cross that back foot does not have to be huge.
Are these 8 per side? 8 per side, got it.
8 per side, that is correct. Followed by sideline clamshells. So these guys, we've done them before. So elbow, shoulder, and then you're gonna go ahead and push through your bottom knee, lift the top, squeeze your butt. So a bit of a repeat if you did that curtsy lunge. And then of course, the tall to short plank. So we'll do the tall to short planks together for the first one. So let's start with our curtsy / goblet lunges. It's an or, not an and.
Last time we did a lunge or a curtsy lunge, I copied these and pasted these into my training peaks. And Coach Julie said, if you have the choice, always pick the curtsy lunge.
Yeah, it's
Get those glutes.
the reason I say it's an option is because sometimes for a lot of people with they're just sensitive knees. The curtsy can feel a little bit knee intensive.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, well, I can't curtsy. It's like, well, reverse lunge will do just fine. So yeah, I mean, certainly curtsy's going to get more of your glute and your butt and your lateral hip. But if you can't do that without a knee pain, yeah, obviously that's going to be a bit of a different thing.
Okay, these clamshells, I think you guys did while I was away.
Yeah,
So
thing.
on my side.
On your side. So
On my elbow or not? Yes. Okay.
elbow, yes. Yeah, and then you're gonna push. So we're opposites, right? But whatever arm you have down, you're gonna push down. I have my right elbow, my right side down. I'm gonna push down with my right knee, my right elbow, extend the hip. My top leg naturally comes up like a clamshell. And I come back and sit back down.
Well, these are kind of. Hi, excuse me, pardon me. Yeah, no, need my own breath.
Sorry, that's not. I mean, it's a little funny. Okay, so as you're gonna push down with the bottom leg, and then you're gonna squeeze your butt, just hips through. So my hips are kind of behind me a little bit. Right, so my hip is now aligned with my elbow and my knee, and I come back down. So go ahead and press down. So yeah, it's basically going from like, I don't know, a pinup girl situation here into a side plank. So seated, side plank, hips down, hips up. And it's okay so go ahead and let the hips come back down to the ground, Meg.
That's awful.
So if you do curtsy lunges, it is a bit of a repeat in some of the similar, muscle groups. We're just pushing instead of lunging. I'm going to do 8 per side of those. It's okay just to turn around, by the way. You do not have to face the camera the whole time. So our tall to short planks can be done from a kind of a bent knee position or from a full plank. We're going to do this first one together just to see how many reps roughly you do in 30 seconds. And then once you have that, that's what you're going to use moving forward. Obviously, if you're on your own, you could just roll with 30 seconds. But in a group setting, this makes a little more sense. So a tall to short plank, just as a reminder, is basically top of your push-up, right? I have a nice wide stance with my feet here. You can't see them, but they are wide. I'm going to let my elbow come down to the ground. 1, back up. That's 1, 2, so on and so forth. Shifting of the hips is okay. Let's do this together first, just to make sure we, what 30 seconds means, / what that takes. Maxine, assume you're good to go / taking a break, either way.
Red.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. You're going to count your reps. I have you on the clock. Okay. So you're just going to count how many times you get up and down in 30 seconds. Wide stance is good here. Three, two, one, and rest. So round up or down on that last rep, whatever it was. That's what you're going to do going forward for the next 3 sets. Okay. Just curious, for those of you mics on, how many did you get? How many times did you go up and down?
10, should have used a wider stance.
That's okay.
9.
9. Perfect. So 9 or 10. Great. Just good to know. Moving forward. Beautiful. We're going back to those. Well, resting as needed, of course. Back to your goblet. As Meg would say, always go curtsy if you have the option. Curtsy lunges. If you can't do curtsy, you can, of course, do regular. Not a problem. If you're doing, yeah, if you're alternating, just go to 16. Okay. Don't worry about how much you cross that leg over, just as long as it's past, just slightly past the heel of your front foot. Yeah, good. Yeah, do whatever you need to do with that top arm. Nice. Yeah. Right. Once you have those 8 per side of the lunges, the next is going to be the sideline clamshells. Again, 8 per direction. This one is not really one that you can alternate. I suppose you could try, but that seems silly. Oh, lost it. Did you need to wash your face, Meg? Because I think Ari's happy to help.
Ari said, this is good, you're starting to sweat.
Bing.
I'm waiting for Joseph, I'm not in a hurry. So in a hurry to do these plank things.
Yeah, what nice wider, sort of a wider stance than maybe you typically do for your push-up. So maybe more close to shoulder width on the tall to short planks. Again, 9 to 10 seem to be the consensus. You're so lucky that you don't have benches by default in your house. Meg's one of those people who has them. Have you done a Copenhagen plank before?
Oh, no, thank you.
You know what I'm talking about. A Copenhagen plank's basically like a side plank, right? Not a big deal. But it's where you hook your top leg on like a bench and then you put your bottom leg, like you squeeze. And my adductors were just like, no, you are incorrect. Please stop. I actually did, I bend my knee. I was like, I don't think I can hold my whole leg weight. They're rude. And I was like, how do we incorporate these? And I was like,
We don't.
we don't. According to Maxine. And
It's coming. At some point, you're gonna be so strong, you're gonna be like, hey, give me those arsehole Copenhagen things. I mean, Danish method, baby.
it's just one of those things. It's if you don't have like a traditional like workout bench, it's really awkward to try and mimic on anything else. It doesn't like have like most times you can grab a chair, right? But here it's like, oh, that's weird. It's kind of awkward. So
I bet Magnus Ditlev does them. He's Danish.
probably.
I feel like this is like a very Cossack-like move. Hey!
It's like, well, I mean, yeah, maybe it's like dancing on the floor. If you have like a tiny workout band, like those PT bands, You could put it around the top of your knees, not a big, super heavy banded one, but that is an option if you're looking for slightly more resistance for the top leg. I know you're not. I heard whoever was laughing. I know you're not, but I'm saying if you are looking for more resistance, banding this is an option. Good. Squeeze your butt, open up the hip on that bottom leg, extend the hip forward.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Let those hips come down with you, Meg. So the hips move down as your shoulders move down. Yeah, so it's okay if you're shifting your hips. I know I say you typically don't, but in this case, that's okay. Just the nature of the movement. You can't help it. You're doing 4 total rounds, my friends. 4 total rounds. I think we're
All right, one more.
last one.
Last one, fast one. Oh no. Last one, guess one. One more and then coffee.
Ari's like, what? I don't compute coffee.
I'm really excited for breakfast.
Yeah. Anything special or just the regular today?
Just their usual, yeah. I woke up at 4 and just never got back to sleep.
Yeah, I woke up at 5 and same. And I was like, what the hell?
I was
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, I was up because I had to be up, but I wasn't up, you know,
Yeah.
like that was my alarm being like, you should wake up now. And I was
Wait,
like,
you guys see this?
guys,
We wore her out. She's oh, just exercise. It's so tiring.
watching exercise is exhausting. And confirmed.
For those of you following along at home on the video replay, watching exercise is exhausting.
Lovely. Just actually, I will point out these tall to short planks can also be done on an elevated surface. Slightly awkward, but like something like a workout bench, not quite as high as like a high, but can be done something elevated if the shoulders need more support. We can also do some more. You can also substitute for scapular push-ups, if that feels like a better option. Lovely. Nice job. I'm gonna do the opposite day. I'm gonna do my workout first and then strength after, but I'll have a good few hours between those two things. And honestly, I'll probably do this workout because I still can't grab a barbell yet.
How are the push-up names with your wrist?
Push-ups are okay. I can extending the finger is fine. It's the bending and grabbing that's hard.
Woo, baby.
So
I know, Ari, that was
nice job.
it's like not a lot, but also a lot, am I right?
Hopefully it's just enough. That's the goal. Just enough so you can, you know, do the other 3 sports you like to do. Friends, if you have, yeah, Arisa, go ahead, keep rolling. No rush. You're fine. What we're gonna do next is basically recover a little bit, grab your foam roller / favorite recovery tool of choice. If you're Arisa, you can get your Normatec boots out because she's fancy. No, I think that's great. No, all joking aside, you could write foam roller, it could be a ball. If you prefer a passive stretch, sure. We could do that too. I was gonna say, it looks like we have our Meg and Joseph kind of have their, routines. Maxine or Arisa or anyone present, anything that's been giving you a little bit of help with, slash, I would say accountability, even if you can know how to do it. Like,
I'm feeling pretty good, knock on wood.
Yeah, me too. Although I think my calves maybe
yeah,
needs a little work.
okay. So remind me, Arisa, do you have any, I know you have like dumbbells, tiny dumbbells. Do you have, I don't know, any like a foam roller type thing, slash something, I know not a kettlebell. Oh, perfect. Okay, you can do this on the foam roller too. I'm gonna use a kettlebell because I happen to have one. Calves. Oh, you're gonna make me do this one, Arisa. I was hoping you wouldn't make me do it. Okay. I've been walking a lot, which is I can't bike, but means my calves are just like get really cranky. So it's probably good you're making me do this, but also I resent this mildly. Okay. So you have your foam roller or kettlebell. I know this is on foam roller, same principle. Instead of going up and down, okay, like Joseph or Meg here, we're gonna go across. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and pick something above my Achilles, which is that ropey thing, right? About the behind the ankle. And then you're gonna wait until you feel like you have muscle, right? So your calf kicks in. You're gonna go ahead and just put that on there. Now, foam roller is probably much more gentle than this, so you're probably pretty solid. This is spicy, and I'm not gonna do anything because that's mean. But if you can breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, maybe you move across, ooh, right? Yeah. But yeah, that face, agreed. Yeah, breathe, Arisa. So as long as you're breathing in through your nose, that discomfort is legit. If you're holding your breath, your palms are sweating, your foot's gone numb, whatever. That's not good. Okay. Movement's optional. If you just need to lay on that thing, you're like, whoa, that's it. That's all I got. That's okay too. So heavy running slash cycling volume, swimming not so much, although potentially can help with swimming to keep the feet floppy. Unless you're a swimmer by trade, in which case strengthen and stiffen your ankles. And just 1 to 2 minutes aside on this guy. What you're gonna find, Arisa, or anyone who does this, you go to squat again, and I dare you to, it's totally fine, you're not hurting yourself. Go ahead and squat again before you do the leg. You're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be sitting on this whatever ankle that you just rolled out. Because you release this calf. And this ankle's like, wah, and just like has the range of motion is shocking. It's silly, frankly. Case in point, I've done my right ankle for all of 1 minute, and all of a sudden, I'm basically sitting on my right leg. My left is not out of the equation, but my left ankle is like not having it. So yeah, calves, highly underrated slash would recommend.
Yeah, they often don't give feedback. Like people are like, oh, my quads and my hamstrings after like long rides and runs and stuff. And so people do a lot of care on those. And then it's like, oh, this is hurting, but the tightness is actually in the calf.
Yeah, and I think the feedback you get actually is when you're doing like the squats and deadlifts we do, right? So when I start to ask you to stand on one leg and bend the knee, that's when you start to get feedback from the calf and you're like, man, my ankle's stiff, but it's not necessarily your ankle, it's your
It shows up in ankles and feet. People will be like, oh, like plantar types in, maybe like plantar fasciitis is like you've gone way too far, but like plantar type symptoms, tightness across the bottom of the foot, weak or tight ankles,
Yeah.
that can, it can be other things, but it can also stem from like super tight calves.
You could have, yeah, I totally agree with Meg. You can have stiffness, like you can have some plantar symptoms, but I will say addressing the calf first can often release some of these systems above that plantar, those plantar fascia, and allow for that either to relax or to address them with less tension, right? If you do have symptoms in the plantar fascia or just like in general, bottom of your feet get a little bit fatigued, you can always grab something like a lacrosse ball. And frankly, this, again, I know it's not a lacrosse ball, but bear with me here. So this is the ball that I'm using here. I could put the heel, my calcaneus, onto the ball, the smaller the better, and just sit on it. Now, obviously this is quite big. Lacrosse ball is much smaller. And you can do this seated on your couch. But this is a really lovely way to just, again, plantar fascia, this is my foot, it connects to my toes, the heads of my toes. And so this stuff, if we release the insertion points and the insertion points, both feels like a foot massage, frankly. And it's lovely. And a super easy thing to do while watching TV. Unless you're symptomatic, of course, and then you can do it gently. But as a whole, yeah, give your feet a little love, feet and calves. You will find that your ankle flexion, your ability to bring your foot towards your face is going to improve, which then helps you kneel / lunge and squat easier and just walk. Oh, and walking downstairs. That's always helpful. So, the usual stuff. Friends,